What's up, everyone? We're really live from the Plains in Auburn, Alabama, home to the Auburn Tigers, SEC Auburn Tigers, obviously. Thank you for joining another Ready, Ted, Go podcast series. Look a little different today, a little stripped down version of the podcast. Coming to you from going to be here at the game tomorrow, Georgia versus Auburn. It's going to be an exciting environment. Looking forward to it. Doing my pick'ems today, and I'm super excited. Super excited for these picks. I'm super excited for all these teams that are actually playing SEC schedules today. That's incredible. We won't have any of those out of pocket, in my opinion, unless you're looking at the Vanderbilt game. A little bit off the beaten path and out of pocket games. So I'm excited. So a little different audio, no mic and things of that nature. But thanks for joining. I won't have any live questions or anything going on today. So just trying to slide it in as I experience the campus here at Auburn. Beautiful, beautiful area down here. It's going to be an exciting atmosphere, exciting SEC atmosphere tomorrow. It's a rivalry game, Deep South's oldest rivalry game, and so pumped. I even gave Auburn a little, I got them in the background here. I got my Week 5 picks from the Plains in Auburn, Alabama, for all my Auburn fans. I got you in orange down there. I did everything for you to make you feel at home. So a lot of exciting news this week, built around a lot of the games. Before we dive into the picks, this will be kind of an abbreviated version today as well. But before we dive into the picks, just previewing a lot of things swirling around the games that are being played this weekend. Florida, Kentucky, a lot of the stuff swirling around this game is, Kentucky hasn't really played anybody. 4-0. What do they really look like? They're not favored by much. I think the favoritism piece is because they're at home. But what doesn't play in their favor is a noon kickoff. So we'll see how that pans out. A lot of things swirling around about Devin Leary not looking like Devin Leary when he was at NC State. So we'll see. We're going to pick that game in a little bit. And then our mailbag questions are going to be a little bit different today. So pretty exciting. Texas A&M, Arkansas at home. This is an early game. Texas A&M, does Max Johnson look like Max Johnson? Connor Wegman. Breaking news from middle of the week this week was that Connor Wegman is out for the season. So Max Johnson, as he lost his job last year due to a thumb injury, he gets it back this year and is going to be able to go out. And I don't know, does he save the day? Does he save Jimbo's job? I don't know. This is the daunting part of the schedule for A&M. So we'll see. LSU, Ole Miss, can Lane and the boys bounce back from a loss at Alabama again? Difference is you got a home game this week. I got a little bit later start, 6 o'clock start. I'm on a weird time. I'm usually on Eastern Standard Time, so now I'm just all jacked up. Like, the game tomorrow is a 2:30 game, but if you're watching on the East Coast, it's a 3:30 game. A 12 o'clock game starting at 11. So if you see me say anything kind of wonky, it's because I'm literally a couple days trying to adjust to this little hour time difference here in Alabama. So does Jackson Dart, does he bounce back? Does Kiffin, the play calling, the defense, do they get a run game going? That's the huge question. And then South Carolina, Tennessee, big game, night game on the SEC network starting at 7:30 tonight. South Carolina's coming in hungry, 2-2. Tennessee's, this is going to be one of those games where Tennessee's going to have to throw the ball with them. And you're going to see what Tennessee's made of tonight because they're going to have to throw the ball with South Carolina. Spencer Rattler's put up some crazy numbers. When I say crazy numbers, not necessarily bulk numbers. It's like when you're throwing the ball 27 times and you're completing them 25, those are crazy. I mean, in the 90th percentile of completion percentage is absolutely bonkers. And then the late game tonight, Alabama at Mississippi State. Man, night game in Starkville with the cowbells ringing. Woo, man. I don't know. This wasn't one at the beginning of the year I thought, okay, man, I wonder if Alabama can handle this game. So I don't really know. We'll see. I think it's a weird atmosphere, and Mississippi State's offense looked great. defense didn't look great. That's what bodes well for Alabama. So they play to their strength of their defense, and hopefully the offense can put some points on the board. But yeah, and then Georgia Auburn. A lot of things circling this game. It is, it's Georgia's first road game period this year because of the cancellation of Oklahoma that changed to Ball State, and so they didn't go on the road versus Oklahoma. So they played 4 games at home, and so not only is this a rivalry game on the road, but if you look back, and Kirby could have probably scheduled this differently, he would definitely not have Auburn as the first game on the road as a rivalry game. And Jordan-Hare Stadium, and this is definitely my first time ever going to be attending a game at Jordan-Hare, but it's a good crowd, man. Like they get pumped up. I mean, I've been walking the streets of Auburn, passing by Toomer's Corner. Hopefully I don't have to visit Toomer's Corner this weekend because, that means Georgia lost and they rolled Toomer's Corner. So, but there's a vibe. There's a vibe going on, and there's some belief here. Obviously, Auburn. A lot of statistics going back to is 6-7 years ago when Georgia was ranked number 1, lost. Auburn came in. Jarrett Stidham beat Georgia 40-17. Of course, Auburn got redemption that year in the SEC championship and went on to knock Auburn out and move on to the playoffs. And actually finished, runner-up, grand champion that year. Grand champion, national champion. It's a band slogan. Sorry. So a lot of weirdness going on. I've heard some fans go, this time 7 years I was sitting in these seats and this happened, and so I don't know. And I'm going to tell you, our mailbag is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be what it's going to take. Like instead of the mailbag, it's going to be what's it going to take for this to happen, for this upset to happen, per se, after we pick the games. So that'll be very interesting. But a lot of things swirling around. Very cool atmosphere here in Auburn. I will say that very open. I had some Georgia attire on, my shoes, did a little workout in the gym here in Auburn, and my Georgia shoes, and maybe I felt more than was actually coming my way, but it felt awkward. And but downtown scene, had some dinner, and man, so far so good. We're not in game day yet, so we'll see how it all goes. But really cool environment down here, really cool college town down here in Auburn, and I love the Auburn campus, beautiful campus. And I told you at the beginning of the year I like what Hugh Freeze is doing, so it's going to be an interesting game. We'll talk about it here when we pick it, but let's dive right in and pick the games today. Or for tomorrow, sorry. So let's pick really quick. Let's pick Missouri Vanderbilt. So Missouri Vanderbilt right now, Missouri is a 13.5-point favorite at Vanderbilt, which I hate to say it, at Vanderbilt this year is not very intriguing. They haven't even finished construction on their stadium. Their scoreboards are being held up by a mechanical lift. Vanderbilt is not good this year. AJ Swan is a cool character for Vanderbilt. I think he's a cool talent. I think he might be somebody's starting quarterback next year in the SEC, just not at Vanderbilt, unless he's just a Vanderbilt guy. But cool story. But honestly, in this one, by the way, I think I added it up. I think I'm 46-4, 46-4 in my picks. Proud of that. Lost 2 last week. That was my biggest losing week. So I think I lost. I picked Ole Miss. I picked Vandy. I'm sorry. I picked Alabama, but there's a couple I missed where shouldn't have been missed. So, but Missouri Vanderbilt, I have Missouri in this game big. I think Missouri's had a problem getting off quick. I think at Vanderbilt, I don't think there's any kind of environment that would keep them from getting off quick. I think the mundaneness is not going to slow them down. I think Luther Burden is an incredible talent. I think Brady Cook is a little agitated that week 1 and 2 he was booed off the sideline. So in all honesty, I think Missouri wins this one big. I think they cover. So I have Missouri against Vanderbilt. LSU, Ole Miss. At Ole Miss, LSU's a 2.5-point favorite. I'm concerned about Jackson Dart. I think LSU is still right now the best team in the West. So I'm picking LSU in this one. I got Jaden Daniels having a big game in Ole Miss. Jackson Dart and Lane don't get it together, and 2.5 points. I think it's going to be more about around 7.5. So I got LSU in that one. South Carolina, Tennessee. Tennessee night game, Knoxville. I got Tennessee on this one, but I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's right. I think the spread is wrong. 11.5. I'm thinking field goal, touchdown, right here. I'm thinking it's close. and I'm thinking Tennessee. I think Joe Milton has to either show himself. I'm picking him that Joe Milton in the run game show themselves. They win the football game, and they go to 4-1 for the year. Texas A&M, Arkansas at Arkansas, noon kickoff. Max Johnson, man, Arkansas has been so close on these games, and this time I think at home, KJ Jefferson defense looked better last week. You're probably getting Rocket Sanders back this week for Arkansas. I got Arkansas, and I got Arkansas by a hair, field goal, touchdown, somewhere in that play. Kentucky, Florida, the noon game. I'll be watching this game very closely. 4-0 Kentucky. I do not think Kentucky is for real. I don't think they're for real. I got Florida in this one. I got Florida double digits. I got Florida by 10, 13. I got a hunch on this one. Kentucky's not played anybody. It's not going to be good. I got Alabama at Mississippi State in Starkville. I think Alabama wins this one. I think the defense for Mississippi State is not strong enough to hang with Alabama. I think they'll be tamed enough to where they're going to have to score more than they think they need to score, and they won't be able to. And Alabama wins this one. I think it's 14.5. It'll be close. It'll be close because the offense of Alabama, I don't know if they can produce the 14.5 points, but I got Alabama in that one. And the last game on the docket is Georgia-Auburn. Georgia-Auburn here in Auburn, Alabama. I'm going with Georgia on this one. I'm going to answer the whys in a minute, but I got Georgia. I don't have them big. I don't have them. It's the first road test. I think the spread right now is 14.5. I got it by like 10 points because it's on the road, first road test. Auburn's going to be excited. Watch out because I'm going to go straight into this, but watch out because the big things today we're going to talk about instead of our mailbag is what's it going to take for an upset, right? What's it going to take for an upset? And I'm going to give you the watch out in a minute for Georgia Auburn, but let's give you what it's going to take Texas A&M to. I don't even call this really an upset because Texas A&M is actually picked in this game. They actually are winning the point spread. But in order for Texas A&M to beat Arkansas, Max Johnson has to be incredible. He has to be incredible. I think Texas A&M in defense will do well against Arkansas. I think it's going to come down to whose offenses can get off early and who move the ball. But it's going to take Texas A&M and Max Johnson throwing for about 250 yards and balancing that offense and defense playing well to get that win in Arkansas. Alabama, Mississippi State. What is it going to take for Mississippi State to knock Alabama off? It's going to take about 10,000 more cowbells, and it's probably going to take Will Rogers putting up record-breaking numbers, probably throwing for over 500 yards. 400. I'll give it 400. If Will Rogers throws for 400 yards or more, Mississippi State will have knocked off Alabama because that's unprecedented against Alabama's defense. Because I think Alabama's defense still has a lot of potential this year. LSU, Ole Miss. What's it going to take for Ole Miss to knock off LSU? It's going to take Jackson Dart to throw the football. But here's my thing: if Quinshon Judkins rushes for over 100 yards, this game is different. He's not had a good game this year. They have not ran the ball well, other than on Jackson Dart's heels. So in order for that to happen, I got Jackson Dart throwing for as many as he runs for. So if he throws for more than he runs for, and Quinshon Judkins rushes for 100 yards, it's going to take that to beat LSU tomorrow night. Kentucky, Florida. It's going to take Kentucky getting out to a 10-point lead, 13-point lead in the first half. They haven't gotten off well against a lot of teams that are not very great this year. Devin Leary, no picks. He can't throw any picks. He's averaging, I think, 1.1 picks per game right now, 1.2 picks per game. It's going to take Devin Leary having a great game. It's going to take that Kentucky defense to really be the Kentucky defense. I don't think Florida has an incredible offense, but I think they have enough in the run game that they can take control of the ball, and Kentucky doesn't get off quick. I think that you see Florida do what they do best, and that's play good ahead, run the football, control the clock, don't give you a lot of possessions. That's what it's going to take for Kentucky to do that. And then Georgia Auburn, this is a silly statement, but it's going to take the two-headed monster of Ashford and Thorne to throw for over 60 yards. I'll give you a better thing. They're going to have to throw for 250 yards because the rushing game is really solid at Auburn. I think I like it. I like Auburn, what Auburn's doing with the run. I like what they're doing in the running game. So it's going to take Thorne and Ashford throwing, whatever the combo is, throwing for over 250 yards in the rushing game. Because if it's not balanced, Georgia's going to eat that rushing game alive. They're going to just